Happy September 30th. It is Friday, 2022. This is the last day of the third quarter, financial quarter. So we're entering the last quarter of the year. I think today is the day that the federal budget, the national government, their budget ends. But I think they papered it over already. A lot of people usually get worked up when September 30th happens or comes and, oh my gosh, the government's going to shut down. Oh, they're not going to have enough money to pay their bills. I mean, that's just a big sham because they can print all the money they want, and that's what they do. What they usually do is they wrestle and say, oh, well, I don't know, we could have a government shutdown, services could be disrupted. And then they end up haggling over a continuance funding bill where they stuff a bunch of pork into it to benefit their buddies and constituents. That's just another way so they can throw some stuff into a spending bill and, get more money, and give it to their friends. You're looking at a hurricane, which now has to be recovered from. It is not done yet. It's hitting South Carolina today. Massive damage. I mean, you look at what happened in Florida in the Fort Myers area on the coast, Sanibel Island, just horrible. That's all got to get repaired. I mean, you think of the disruption to people's lives. And it just kind of, it underscores to me the fact that you don't own anything. You might think you have stuff, but if it's not the government taking it away, Mother Nature takes it away. Boom, like that. It's just, everything is so fleeting. It's just, I don't know. And to build, the problem is, people say, go look for high ground, when the waters are coming in. And it's only a matter of time when you build out so much infrastructure on sand that's right on a huge body of water. At some point, it's going to get taken out. Here's an example. Near me, live near the Illinois River, and it's like any river around the country. There are homes that have like little beachfront property. There's like little sandy beaches. And I mean, there's one strip of land not that far from me that's right on the river, and they got beautiful views. And I mean, I'd love to live in one of those houses. And I've even thought about it, and I always talk myself out of it because I'm like, no way. Because every few years the river floods. You get a lot of rain, and it comes down river, and the water levels rise. And the next thing you know, you've got water in your house. That is not a situation I want. I don't want river water flowing into my house. So the views and the the sunsets and all the beauty that it in the serenity that it does offer living there, it is not worth it. Because long term, it's unsustainable. And coastal living, long term, is unsustainable. If you buy into climate change and global warming or whatever you want to call it, you probably shouldn't be living on a coastline. I saw so many reports, this storm is fueled by global warming and the warm waters of the Gulf. Hey, maybe, whatever. Climate change, they call it. Yeah, that's what climate is. It changes all the time. We're just keeping a record of weather throughout history. That's the climate for an area, and it can shift, and it goes through lulls, ups and downs, just like everything in life. Pendulum swings one way, it swings back the other. The fact is, though, when you put yourself in harm's way, I mean, it's just, it's going to happen. At some point you're going to get flooded out. And so, I mean, if you're going to do that, you better build your house on concrete stilts and be high enough to where the water surge cannot hit your inside your property and just flows underneath like a garage bay or something. But these older homes that are there, they're not prepared, they're wiped out, and there's going to be a great cost, a great expense to a lot of people, because it's got to get floated out to everybody else in the insurance pool. Where's that money come from? Well, it's going to take more money out of your pocket. You're going to have to print more money and create more money, so that's inflationary. See, there's no end to any of this. Natural disasters, you might as well not have a budget if you're going to cover them all, because you're going to have to print and print and print to cover this stuff. So the Fed will end up printing. The government is going to have, create all this stimulus. They should, because, I mean, I'm not for any of this, but if they're going to give I don't even know how much to Ukraine right now, probably close to 100 billion. And I saw estimates that it was 70 billion, the damage that Ian did. It's probably more than that. Let's say it's 100 billion. How quickly is Congress going to give that money up? They're giving it to Ukraine. That's okay, because we like to fight proxy wars and pay off dirty allies. But no, when it comes down to the people of the United States, we're going to have to debate that and throw some pork into it for our buddies. And, it's all a big scam. That's really what it comes down to. Ultimately, it comes down to personal choices. We have to make good personal choices. Not that I've ever made the best choices, but I would love to live on the beach. Had opportunities to live on the beach. Chose not to live on the beach because you're not going to be living there forever, and you're going to lose everything at some point. So to me, that's not worth it. I'd rather be. I'd roll the dice. It can happen anywhere. I mean, you can get struck by lightning, but I would rather put myself in a more conservative position, where you have a less likelihood for bad things to occur. I mean, it's a risk. It's a risk reward type thing, and so it's going to happen. So what happened in the Gulf is going to happen again. That's just the way it is. No stopping it. I'm at my destination. So going forward, we've got a situation now where we're going to have less, because the supply chain is going to get suck up all these resources that are necessary to rebuild what happened in Florida and in parts of South Carolina, I'm sure. And you never know, there might be another hurricane. That's just the way it is. So you're going to need real resources, real assets to fix these things, to put things back together. Get those resources now if you think you're going to need them. Just because you're not hit by a hurricane doesn't mean you're not going to need a generator, doesn't mean you're not going to need gasoline or water or things that, hey, winter's coming up. Again, we are in the last quarter of the year. Winter is coming. Make sure you have what you need. I'm telling you, the more and more I see out of central banks and the statements that they're making out of like the Federal Reserve and Powell, all these people, they are going to enslave you because they have to. Financial enslavement is their goal. At a minimum, get your money in your possession. Cryptocurrencies allow you to do that. If it's cash, get cash in hand, because you're not going to be able to get that. There's not enough cash to back up the money supply that's on the digital screen. Don't have the physical cash. So get that stuff in your hand. Get it now. Don't wait until it's too late. Top off all your tanks, whatever you've got, get it filled up, get it in your possession. You might not be able to get it. If you're in a situation right now, these poor people in Florida, and basic things that they need, they can't get it. The infrastructure's not there. So if you don't have it right now where you're at, you're not getting it. You're dependent on someone else showing up. That's not a good situation to be in. So it's important to definitely make sure that you are in possession of those things you need, especially your money. All right. Hope you have a wonderful Friday. Join us for Happy Hour, Litecoin Lisa's channel. Just search Litecoin Lisa on YouTube, 4 p.m. Central Time. Be having a few drinks. All right. Trust yourselves on this. Right now, we're going through some tumultuous times. You got to trust yourself and go with your gut. Don't leave anything on the table. Take those chips off the table and cash them out. Do something good with it. All right. Trust your instincts. Love you all. Have a great Friday.